Hmm? Do you want earphones? Huh? Will be helpful. I don't know where the fuck it was, but that's just fucking dandy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Motive Racing channel. We are here for Tier 1 of the Clio Cup for round 4 here at Long Beach. I'm joined in the commentary box by the one and the only emo guy, Ian. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Great to be here and looking forward to a great race. How are you?
Yeah, same here. It should be a great evening of racing. We've just seen Tier 2 boys going around, and unfortunately it didn't seem like the best race for yourself. Last week at Snetterton couldn't have gone better, but this week, unfortunately, not all to plan.
No, definitely not. You know, there was a couple of accidents ahead of myself when we were going into the roundabout, and unfortunately, a few people behind me didn't quite notice that I was slowing down to avoid the accident, and I became a passenger in an accident that was inevitable.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and these things happen in racing, but it was incredibly unfortunate that you did get caught up in a few incidents. There was six car train on the opening few laps between third and eighth, I think it was, and so many guys running into the wall. There just wasn't enough space, 3-4 wide down the straights. It was great racing. It was incredible to watch, but I can imagine it would have been frustrating to have been in that pack with the pace and with the potential to go so much quicker, but just not having the space to be able to do so.
Yeah, I looked at the timings when I was after the race when we came into the pits, and I was roughly only about a second off of the fastest lap for the pace. So I wasn't doing too bad once I finally managed to get my rhythm. I've managed to get myself back up to fourth. I nearly managed to catch third, but unfortunately we just didn't have enough time left.
No, the laps ran out, as it were, on you.
Yeah.
But obviously we had some quick times out the front, and it seems like these tier 1 times have come down even more on what we expected. We've heard in the build up to this race that the only G has been doing 1 minute 28 in practice. He's almost got to that point now. He's currently sat P1 in this session. He's got 0.6 of a second to his nearest rival. It's actually Peanut sat in P2, otherwise known as ALTEL. Well, Peanut's his nickname. His name's actually ALTEL. He's currently sat on the front row provisionally alongside G. You've got Smithy in third with Motoring Morgan, who seems to have brought it into the pits. Hopefully he'll get out for another run. RS Jim, a late stand-in for tonight. Currently sat in 5th place in this session. You've got Yonko, who we're riding with at the moment. He's just coming out of the last turn now onto the pit straight. He is in 6th at the moment in this session, so good showing at the moment from Yonko. Let's see if he can improve on his current personal best at the session. He comes over the line. He can't this time around. Got My Dad Peanut sat in 7th position at the moment in this qualifying session. Grandad Steve looks like he's brought it into the pits, sat in 10th place. Swiss Tony over the line. Change of name this week for Swiss Tony. He's now called Swiss Tony 69. He's 2.1 seconds off of the ideal pace at the moment. Sat in P9 in this session. You got John Boy in 11th at the moment, 3.3 seconds off the pace. We see Swiss Tony getting on 2 wheels there through the roundabout. We've got Smoky Devil sat P12, Hobno, PR Del Pater in P13, and now disgraced H2 Malik after last week's shenanigans on the last lap at Snetterton. Rightly so, starting in 14th place. What do you make of that one, Ian?
Well, it was definitely a very worthy punishment of from what happened last week. It was a back marker. He held up the pack, caused an accident, which did, inevitably caused the race leader to drop down the board and lose out on a good few points to, further increase his lead on the championship standings.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely made an effect on, the fight for the, as you say, for the title. It gave Motoring Morgan a bit of a lifeline. He's got a comfortable lead at the top of the championship, but that would have been eaten into significantly had the only G not had an absolute calamitous end to the race, which was through no fault of his own. As we were watching Swiss Tony here coming out the last turn, let's see what he can do coming over the line. We've got a couple of cars in the foreground. Looks like they can't improve on their lap time at the moment. Can Swiss Tony go better than he's already gone? He can't for the time being. 1.3 seconds off of his true pace. 20 seconds left to go in this qualifying session. Smithy is still out there on lap time. Currently sat P3 in this session. Looks like he's got a good run there coming through that middle sector, but he's 4/10 down at the moment on his best lap time. It looks like this isn't going to be an improvement here for Smithy as he comes into the final few turns of the lap now. He's 7/10 off of pole, currently sat P3. I can't see this being an improvement with the way this lap has gone so far though.
Just looking at the comments here on the stream, and we have JR in there, and his predictions for the first race is going to be the only G in first, Motor Morgan in second, and Intel in third.
Well, I have to say that's pretty easy prediction looking at the actual classification at the moment. He expects that Smithy's not going to finish where he's qualified then, presumably.
Yeah, that definitely looks like that, but no, that also, by the looks of things, compared to last week, Smithy is looking quite comfortable on this track this week. It's a good wee track to get a good wee rhythm on. The corners aren't too tight, apart from also the last corner going onto the pit straight. It's one of those kind of tracks where you can just try and catch the rhythm and get just round, just cruise around those corners. So obviously he's feeling that rhythm this week.
Yeah, definitely. It does look a lot more comfortable, as you say. Seems like he has more confidence in that car. As we see the only G coming over the line, current provisional poll says it looks like he is going to take pole for this one for round 4 here at Long Beach. What a lap time there, so much in hand over the rest of the pack.
Well, I was actually doing a lot bit of homework earlier on. It actually appears that the only G does hold the current world record on Project Cars 2 for Long Beach.
Yeah, he does. So we're expecting some good things here from the ODG. He's a multiple world record holder in the front wheel drive category on Project Cars.
I'm almost sure he has the world record at Monza as well.
Yeah, he has it on all the tracks that we race in the Clios this season.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Yeah, he's one of the best drivers here. Actually, on PlayStation 4 is the only G. He's got so much talent underneath that bonnet. We're about to go racing here for the first race of the evening here at Tier 1. The second race altogether. If you guys were watching us for the Tier 2 race earlier on, it was a fantastic spectacle to watch. We saw, ultimately in the end, the Mutts Nuts taking the victory. A few seconds up the road from championship leader James XB, who came home in second place, and the Scrabble Kyrian managed to bring it home in a phenomenal podium spot. Really well done to him. Many of those guys
for a debut race as well. That was Scrabble that just debuted his first race here today. We managed to cop further in the podium, so hats off to him.
Yeah, hopefully you can keep that sort of form going for the rest of the season. 2 rounds left coming up in the next couple of weeks here for the Clio Cup. So we got the only G here starting at the front, and he'll be hoping that he can gain some points here on Motoring Morgan in the championship standings. Motoring Morgan with a comfortable lead at the front, it's got to be said, in the standings at the moment. He has certainly stamped his authority on this Clio Cup, having finished runner-up last season. Sorry, mate.
Well, I was just about to say, he has definitely got the potential. He's definitely shown up. Shown that he's definitely got a point to prove this season, having been, pretty much denied his championship victory last season. So he definitely has some kind of point to prove this season by just putting the foot down, keeping it clean, getting those consistent lap times in, getting space between himself.
Yeah, and obviously with JR doing a Rosberg and electing not to defend his title, it does allow Motoring Morgan to be essentially the champion-elect here. We see a car getting a bit of lag here off the start, and it looks like we're underway here for the sprint race. It's a good start there from the ODG. ARTEL likewise gets away nicely. Smithy and Motoring Morgan all seem to have got away well. There's been a bit of a shuffle in mid-pack. It looks like somebody got a horrible start, and that's triggered the rest of the pack to not get away at all well. But coming towards turn 1, it looks like pretty much everyone holding position here. You've got Motoring Morgan looking to the inside, but for the time being, I think the only G is going to lead us into turn 1. It looks like the only G, actually no, Peanut's up the inside. Peanut up into P1. The only G back out to P2. It looks like Smithy is coming under pressure now from Yomko. Yomko looks like he's making moves here on these guys, but Motoring Morgan just about defending the position and holding on ahead of Yomko coming through the roundabout. Somebody into the wall in the background. Looks like it might be Falguest or Swiss Tony there. Didn't quite catch who it was. I think it might have been Falguest actually, getting a little bit sideways. He's now falling back into the clutch of Swiss Tony, but it is ALTEL making the most of a fantastic start here up in P1, and the only G is having to defend here from Smithy for P2. And Yomko almost getting a little bit sideways there, but just hanging on to it. He's coming under pressure now from Motoring Morgan. He managed to get back past him. Only G looks like he's trying to get back past ARTEL also for the lead, but Falguest here is having a little bit of trouble. He's fallen behind RS Jim. RS Jim on his debut here at Motive Racing, putting in a great show. Up into P7 in this one. My Dad Peanut has also gained a few places off the line, up into 6th place at the moment. The only G is really trying to get back past ARTEL here in the battle for the lead, but Smithy is hot on these guys' heels as well. The battle for P1 is a 3-way battle at the moment. In the background, Motoring Morgan trying to defend from Yomko as we come out onto the straight to complete lap 1 of this sprint race.
Well, it's definitely a much better first lap compared to the Tier 2 boys, which is obviously, as I say every week, every time I commentate in the Tier 1 boys, it's exactly what we expect, it's exactly what we want, and these guys are the pinnacle of what everybody comes to watch here on the YouTube channel every week.
Yeah, it is. This is the reason why we all Oh, here, this is the main reason. Obviously, watching these guys race and watching them do it fairly cleanly, and the fastest guys on the PlayStation 4 platform. It's a joy to watch here. We see Motoring Morgan is really coming under heavy pressure from My Dad Peanut. My Dad Peanut making a move on Yomko there up into P5,
Oh
and he's gonna
no!
have to watch out.
Is
Oh
that
my
your
goodness!
uncle?
Oh, is that Hovno?
No,
Hovno.
hell no.
I think it's
Oh,
Hovno.
it
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
Oh
disaster there.
no.
That's very unfortunate there, losing lots of time in the process. And Swiss Tony's had a turbulent start to this race. H2 Malik has gained a couple of spots, obviously started at the back of the grid due to impeding the race. We've impeding the leaders last week and getting in the way, causing a collision that could have
Oh
easily avoided. Oh
no.
no, Hovno all over the
Oh.
place. And it looks like,
Oh.
chain reaction there. Hovno in the end collecting Swiss Tony and H2 Malik as he tried to get the car going again. Nothing any of those guys could do. It's just a racing incident. But Hovno now down to P11 in the early stages of this race. That is a disaster here for Hovno
Well,
PR Del Pata.
well, just looking down onto the pit lane, it would appear that we actually have someone that has actually retired their vehicle.
I wonder
I'm
who
not sure
this
who it
is.
is.
Trying to figure out who this is.
Let's see if we can try and look at the timings. No, it's not telling us.
In the meantime, we've got Motoring Morgan trying to defend here from My Dad Peanut, who's closed in on him in the last lap or so. My Dad Peanut looking pretty strong here in this race. Made a good start. Started a little bit down the foot. Oh my goodness!
Oh no,
Smithy's in the
Walter
barriers,
Morgan.
and he collects Morgan there, and Morgan had nowhere to go. My Dad Peanut in the end managed to avoid that carnage there, but Morgan, our championship leader, having a difficult race so far in this sprint race.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks where until you get your round, you will struggle, you will slide out in these kind of corners as we saw with Yonko, and it's just horrible, especially when you end up catching other players up in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, we've got RS Jim looking to the outside here of Motoring Morgan. Can he out drag him down the straight? Motoring Morgan's going to have the inside, and it looks like he's going to defend the position. RS Jim in the end, nowhere to go on the exit of the corner. So Motoring Morgan, wily old head, knows what he needs to do. I say wily old head, he's only 19 years old, but plenty of experience on those shoulders of his as he fends off RS Jim despite having less pace on that previous straight. As we come over the line to complete lap 3 of this race, Morgan leading the championship coming into this one by 34 points. You get 35 for a win here at Motive Racing. There's 2 races per round. Each round, obviously we're in the 4th round of the season, so 2 more after this, 6 round seasons here, 12 races altogether, a sprint race and a feature race at each event, and we're currently watching a big battle going on here for 3rd place. My Dad Peanut leading it, Falguest, Motoring Morgan, RS Jims and Smithy. 5 cars in a line here. It looks like My Dad Peanut trying to break away from this pack, but Falguest is trying to fend off Motoring Morgan here. These guys all looking like they want to get on with this here.
Well, these guys are very tight. They're definitely having, definitely trying to, overtake each other, try and get by when they can. But in this kind of track, there's very, very little chances for an overtake unless you are on a straight and extremely close.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those where it has to be a very clean-cut manoeuvre. It's a bit like Monaco, Long Beach. It's and we saw early in the Tier 2 race there was a big train which you oh no! As we see there, that's My Dad Peanut getting sideways and collecting Motoring Morgan. My Dad Peanut now dropping lots of time. It looks like he's been passed by Yomko. Looking at the timing board, he's down into P8. That's horrible there for My Dad Peanut, which running in a good points paying position, was running in a podium spot there. But in the meantime, watching our race leader here, the only G, he has opened up a 2.3 second at the lead over Peanut. And it looks like G is going to cut into that massive gap in the championship to Motoring Morgan. You get 35 points for a win and 20 points for a 6th place finish where Motoring Morgan is currently. So as it stands in this race, only G is going to gain 15 points on Motoring Morgan, which would bring the championship gap down to 19 altogether. So as it stands, it's not a good round for Morgan, but he's got 3rd place within his sights. He's literally right there within a couple of seconds of it, so it's in touching distance, and he will be, I'm sure, pretty motivated to try and get those positions back and get himself into good championship points paying position once again here. But Falguest currently sat in that position. The man. Oh
Oh
no! Let's
no!
say that Falguest getting into the wall on the left hand side into the tyre barriers. Emago, you know how easy it is to misjudge that corner.
Well, it's extremely easy to mess up that corner. It's when you try going at a decent speed, your back end slips out, and then the rest of your car just follows. And the result is exactly what you just saw.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate there for Falguest dropping down to 6th place. It looks to have been passed by RS Jim, Smithy, Motoring Morgan as well. RS Jim having an unbelievable debut here at Motive. He is up to 3rd place here, just trying to fend off the charge from Smithy, Motoring Morgan, and Falguest, to his credit, sticking to the task as well here on lap 6 of this race. We're just over halfway through the sprint race here. It's a 15-minute dash to the line, and then after that we'll have the feature race. We'll obviously have a feature race qualifying session, which will mean the top 5 from this race won't be able to qualify for the feature race, so they'll all start at the back. It will give the guys in the mid-pack a chance to show what they can do. So currently sat in that magical 6th spot is Falguest, who always goes well in our feature race qualifying sessions, always up there challenging for pole, with the top 5 unable to show what they can do. RS Jim, I'm very impressed with him so far.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on him for the rest of this race. He could very well, come up and sneak up behind, Peanut and the only G, and just just completely slip away from them. Anything at this point, this close into the race, that anything can still happen. Intel or the only G could mess up at some corner.
Yeah, it's always on the cards. But we see here, it looks like Smithy's looking to the outside here. Is he going to go from up the inside? No, he thinks better of that one. In the end, he definitely thought about going for a dive there, but in the end checks himself as we come over the line here to complete lap 6 of this race. Well disciplined drive here from RS Jim, not getting phased by the charging Clios behind him, and he's actually pulling out the gap to Falguest in 6th. So we see here Smithy pulling out to the right hand side. He's going to look to the inside here coming into turn 1. Is he going to make the move? Smithy late on the brakes, and it looks like he gets it done. RS Jim still there though, still side by side coming out towards the roundabout. In the end, RS Jim has to get out of it, and Smithy is up into P3. Good driving there from Smithy, but RS Jim still hounding and hassling him here. And we've got Motoring Morgan trying to get involved in this battle. Motoring Morgan can see a podium spot very much in his sights now. Our championship leader will be wanting to limit the damage done in this race with his championship rival, the ODG, currently walking away with this win out front. Still very, very close between these guys, and Falguest, to be fair to him, is not letting these guys get out of his sight either. And we see him doing a bit of a wink for the camera there in the background. RS Jim though, very composed, not letting the pressure get to him. If he's feeling the pressure, he's not showing it.
Well, that's exactly the kind of head that you need in this, and the races with the Tier 1 boys is just try not to allow anybody to get inside your head. Try not to allow anybody to try and force you into a mistake or anything. Then, if you do, then you definitely have a strong chance of being able to keep up with them.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. As long as you've got the slipstream in these Clios, it's very, very easy to keep tabs, and the turbulent air isn't really a factor with this sort of low downforce that we're talking about in these Clios. Means that it's pretty much non-existent, that you can feel the dirty air from the car in front, so you can pretty much run nose to tail for the entirety of the race and experience no loss of aerodynamics. As we see here, RS Jim back up the inside there as Smithy. Fantastic battle between these boys, but still side by side. Once again, Smithy looking to the inside. Is he going to go for a move? Late on the brakes, Smithy. Is he going to get it done, or is he going to go wide? No, he does get it done. Avoids the tyre barrier on the inside. All of these boys, these four guys, seem to be catching up to Peanut in P2. It looks like they're working together now. Or at least they would be better suited to be working together. Because at this point, Peanut, obviously in the foreground, only 2 seconds ahead. If they started to use each other's slipstream and bump draft, or not even bump draft, but just use the side draft or even just the the slingshot, it would give them a good chance of catching up. But it looks like they're not making the most of it at the moment. Only G has just started lap 9 of this race. I think we should have. He crossed the line with 2 minutes 59. No, it was 2 minutes 56 on the clock. So I think we've got 2 more laps, including this one. Just under 2 laps left to go here.
Well, yeah, I think we should. Well, as long as the OG can get across before that time runs out, then we should have at least 2 more laps.
Yeah, I think it's just under 2 laps here as we see RS Jim now having to really defend here from Falgest. Looks like Motor Morgan and Smithy have both found a way past Jim, making a late appearance here in this Motor Racing Clio Cup round 4 here at Long Beach. We know he's got pace. We've seen him in many project cars, 2 lobbies over the years. Well known in the Clios and the touring cars as well for being one of the quickest guys out there. And unfortunately didn't get much practice in for this one due to the fact that he literally stood in for us tonight. But doing a commendable job here. Smithy though looks like he's been sat in the final podium spot for the time being. Motor Morgan very close behind him. 3rd and 4th these guys in the foreground. You can just see Airtel going past the screen and he has got a little way in front of these guys. 2 seconds. It looks like maybe these guys can't catch up to him at this point. But the only G is on to the final lap of the race. 1 minute 22 he was over the line, so I'm pretty sure this is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. And the only G is going to make some considerable inroads to our championship leader, Motor Morgan. Motor Morgan in 4th place. Can he get onto the podium and do a bit of damaged imitation here? You see, he has a look here on Smithy, but Smithy holding the inside line and keeping his composure. He cannot phase one bit by Motor Morgan's advances here, but he's all over the back of him here on this final lap. Motor Morgan needs this position to benefit him as much as possible in the championship. Smithy doing his fastest first sector of the race so far on the last lap. It looks like Motor Morgan's coming under pressure now from RS Jim. RS Jim pulls out to the left hand side here. We're side by side here under the Verizon bridge.
Oh,
and it looks like Motor Morgan eases RS Jim up against the wall there. Elbows out from Motor Morgan. Questionable driving, still holding the position on the inside ahead of RS Jim as we come out towards the middle sector of the lap now. Where is our race leader, the only G? He is just coming through the final couple of turns now. The only G has absolutely bossed this sprint race, hasn't he, Emo guy, this evening?
Oh yeah, he's had no issues at all. He's just had that straight, clean air. He's not had anybody, trying to challenge him. He's just put the boot down, pretty still, put as much gap as much as possible between him and second, and that's exactly it's paid off in a spectacular fashion as always.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic job from him. Airtel is going to come around in 2nd place. What's happening with Smithy at RS Jim and Motor Morgan? Motor Morgan's had an absolute mare on this last lap. He's dropped down to 6th place. Oh no, comes over the line, classified in 5th eventually with Falgest's penalty. But Motor Morgan will pick up 23 points for 5th place. He'll lose 12 points there to the early G. So the gap in the championship down to 22 points. Still Motor Morgan at the top of the standings, but the only G is hunting him down in the fight for the title here for the Clio Cup. JR Sim Racing and in the comments saying Smithy done a good job to get back to 3rd. Great recovery. Obviously JR is the reigning Clio Cup champion from last season. Elected not to defend his title this season. Decided he'd rather give the GTEs a spin. Obviously raced last night. Took the feature race at Sakito. If you haven't seen that, guys, be sure to check that out from yesterday's action. Myself and Ian alongside me were commentating on that one. But the story of the sprint race tonight for round 4 of Motive Racing's Clio Cup here at Long Beach is the only G taking the victory and the fastest lap to boot. Airtel and Smithy completing the podium. We've got RS Jim and Motor Morgan. Falgest, Maidab Peanut, Yomko, Swiss Tony and Hovno complete the top 10. And then behind them we've got H2 Malik in 11th, Smoky Devil in 12th, John Boy and Grandesty unfortunately retiring from the race. Let's see if we can grab a quick word. Well, actually, we'll grab a quick word with the only G, Airtel and Smithy during the feature race qualifying session. That's the best time to chat to them because they won't actually be occupied because they will be busy. Well, they won't be able to qualify. So we'll catch up with those guys in a very short while. We will see you guys very shortly in a couple of minutes or so for the qualifying session. So see you in a second. Alright, I'm just gonna put our audio off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to go racing here for the feature race for Motive Racing's Clio Cup Long Beach Round 4 Tier 1 boys. The top 5 from the sprint race unable to qualify for this one. They'll all be trying to fight their way back through the field. I'm joined in the commentary box by Ian tonight. We're almost about to go racing here. Should be a great race. Looks like we're locked in and ready to go here. When these lights go out, we will be underway.
And here we go.
Here we go. It looks like a good start there from Mida Peanut. Gets away very nicely off the line. Yomko not so great. It looks like he's going to be swamped by Masoki Devil and Hobno coming towards turn 1. It looks like we got also coming up on 5th place Swiss Tony making a good start. He's right behind these guys. Grandad Steve looks like he's tucking in behind him. Smithy, John Boy. Smithy, what a great start from him up into P7 as we come into turn 1. Looks like Mida Peanut's going to have the inside, but Hobno make go very late on the brakes there. Up the inside. Looks like in the end he had to get out of it. And oh no, Hobno has taken Mida Peanut out. He's down to 4th place, but it looks like he's clinging on just about, but that was a very questionable move there from Hobno up the inside into turn 1 there, my guy.
Yeah, that was definitely a very, head-on approach. Definitely dove in head first. It's quite questionable on whether it paid off or not. I definitely feel like my dad Peanut's definitely going to be having work with him after this race.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit over the top. I think probably pushing the boundaries of what's actually acceptable here. But Mida Peanut's still sat in 4th place, still high up. He's ahead of his potential rivals in this race, so it's not all harm.
Well, Smithy's right behind him.
Yeah, Smithy is actually all over the back of him now. This is not what Mida Peanut would have wanted. He would have wanted to get a breakaway at the start of this race, but he's now coming under pressure here. He's desperately trying to get back past Swiss Tony here, but he's making heavy work of it at the moment. In the meantime, at the front, we've got Yomko and Hobno battling it out over P1 and 2, and Mida Peanut looks like he ran into Swiss Tony there, puts him in the wall, coming through that last hairpin. Don't know if Swiss Tony braked a little bit early there or what the situation was, but it definitely looked a little bit dodgy there from Mida Peanut. Over the line to complete that one, Yomko, Hobno and Mida Peanut, the top 3.
Well, Smithy, H2, Malik, Smoky Devil, and quite a lot of half the field going into their pit right now. Getting it done and dusted early to try and get a jump on the rest of the pack.
Yeah, they are indeed. It looks like a lot of these guys trying to get a jump. The only G said in the interview before the race that he would definitely be trying to make an early pit stop and get the jump on these guys and try and get the hammer down out of the spotlight. But it looks like that strategy has sort of gone up in flames because we have got pretty much half the field doing the exact same thing here.
Well, they definitely must have been listening into the commentary while they're getting their refreshments, getting the race strategy sorted out for this feature race, and just we're listening in, trying to get a little insight into what the OG had planned for this.
Yeah, it was definitely doesn't sound like the sort of plan that he wanted. It sounded like he wanted to sort of just slip under the radar and get some laps in and get the timing down for when the guys at the front pit. But in the meantime, Mida Peanut getting past Hobno going into the wall on that latest lap, and you saw there he's running into the back of Yomko into the last turn. But we're all clean out of the last turn. It's 0.2 of a second separating these boys coming down the straight. In the background, somebody's else going into the pits. It looks like Swiss Tony is making his mandatory pit stop as well. So just to fill everybody in, everyone from 6th downwards has already been in for their mandatory pit stop. That leaves the top 5 at the front, all still yet to make their stop, as we see here. Mida Peanut sizing Yomko up into turn 1. It looks like he's gone for the move up the inside. A little bit elbows out there, maybe shoved him a little bit there, did Mida Peanut, but he is up into the lead. Oh, what do you make of that one? Was that on the limit, or was that a little bit naughty there from Mida Peanut?
Well, it's definitely say he's pushing the boundaries with that one, but he's definitely pushing back at Yomko for what he did deliver to my dad Peanut at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, it could just be getting even, I suppose, which is fair enough, I guess. As long as Yomko doesn't make a steward's inquiry, I guess he could say that's fair enough. But definitely not something we condone here at Motive. Obviously, we're all about clean racing here. JR Sim Racing says all of them together will slow each other in the pits. Yeah, absolutely. It kind of kills the point of doing an early pit stop if everyone does it at the same time. But we are seeing Might Have Peanut here trying to defend here from Yomko in the battle for the lead. But Yomko's not letting him go. Obviously we saw Might Have Peanut making the move into the last turn on the previous lap, but he's not having this all go his own way at the moment. Not by any means.
No, definitely not. But as long as if you can try and build that lead on Yonko, try and build up to at least 5 seconds, then he'll be able to go into the pits and not be too far behind when he comes out.
Yeah, hopefully we can see that he will manage to keep that gap. But I think these guys can be holding each other up. I mean, it's very possible. Out the front, battling each other, trading positions, trying to defend. There's every chance that everyone's holding each other up in this field because it's pretty tightly backed. You can see Motor and Morgan actually looks to be in the best position looking at the timing boards, having already been in for his mandatory pit stop. He's running in some clear air. He's 4 seconds up the road here from Swiss Tony, HG Malik and the Only G. The Only G is stuck in some traffic. Swiss Tony and Malik right in front of him, so he's got some work to do here if he wants to give his championship contender and current leader Motor Morgan a bit of a headache. The Only G has definitely got his work cut out here in this feature race. As we're on lap 4 of 20 here at Long Beach.
Well, they're definitely closing that gap on Mad Dad Peanut and Yonko as they do continue to fight it out. They're definitely slowing each other down at this point and allowing the rest to, close that gap and get up while those two are still remaining to go into the pits. And it's just not the best strategy to be doing right now. Just don't fight, don't try to get a hold of each other, just try and use each other to build that lead up again.
Yeah, definitely. As we are on lap 4 of 20 here at Long Beach Street Circuit in the USA. Well, some of them are on lap 5 of 20, but most of the field are still on lap 4 of 20 at the moment. And Motor Morgan looks to be closing onto the back of Smithy. I think, has Smithy been in? I'm pretty sure Smithy has been in.
Yeah, he has.
So actually both of these boys are in the best position. It's Smithy in the prime position, but Motor Morgan is closing that gap. Keep an eye on the split times on the top left, 6 and 7. Smithy coming over in a 30.7, Morgan a 29.8. Morgan almost a second quicker than Smithy that last time around. He's hunting him down, getting closer and closer, and you can see he's getting ever bigger in that slipstream here. Smithy looking like he's on a mission here in this race, wants to get on with this and get these positions done and dusted. But Smithy doing a good job here at the moment of not succumbing to the pressure. And in the battle for the lead, it looks like Might Have Peanuts pulled out 7/10 of a second. Still Yonko keeping within that second barrier, but it looks like he's settled down just a little bit here.
Well, it's one of those tracks where if you do start fighting with someone, you are going to be losing those precious seconds to allow others to catch up. It's not ideal. You just need to try and try and get by as fast and clean as possible and build up those seconds because it's just going to be slowing everybody down at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see here, Motor Morgan is doing his personal best sector time, in the middle sector of the race so far on lap 5, and Smithy's definitely going to be feeling the pressure. Might Have Peanuts actually into the pits. Might Have Peanut.
Just looking at the standings right now, no, the times and everything right now, and it looks like we have actually lost our debut racer right now.
RS Jim.
Yeah, we've lost RS Jim.
I think he may not have started for the feature race. I don't know if he took the qualifying or not.
I don't know.
Not 100% on this. We'll have to clarify that as we go along. But anyway, we've got at the moment Smithy and Motor Morgan 30 seconds behind the race leader, who is Yomko, and Might Have Peanut has come out just a second behind these guys. So he was our race leader before we came in. He's come out not too far off of Smithy and Motor Morgan, but he would have rather, I'm sure, come out ahead of them. It looks like he's got the Only G only a couple of seconds behind him here in 7th place, or what is a net 4th. So just to fill everybody in, the top three still need to come in for their mandatory stop. Yomko is actually coming into the pits now, so Grandad Steer and Smoky Devil are the only guys who still yet to make their mandatory pit stop in this feature race. And once they do, it will be, the pecking order should be Smithy, Morgan, My Dad Peanut, G. We're just waiting to see where Yomko filters out though. Once he comes out of the pit lane, he should be out in a few moments time. Grandad Stee coming through the roundabout. He's got a 2.5 second lead over Smoky Devil. These guys do need to come in at some point in these next 13 laps. Where's Yomko coming out though? Still in the pit lane at the moment is Yomko. Yomko still in the pit lane. Haven't got any eyes on him at the moment. Not sure if anybody's got eyes on Yomko, but he looks like he's emerged from the pit lane in 5th place. But we're watching Grandad Stee at the moment. Grandad Stee on his personal best middle sector there, 2/10 quicker than he's gone so far in this race. Not sure when he's going to bring it into the pits. Maybe he's trying to maximise his time in clear air to get the jump maybe on My Dad Peanut, who's sat in 5th place at the moment, and drop him back off of him. Stee is really getting the hammer down at the moment as he brings it into the last corner now. Is he going to come in for his mandatory pit stop this time? No, he's not. Opts to stay out and keep going. Keep making the most of this open space that he's got in front of him here.
Well, Smoky Devil, he is closing that gap slowly but surely. You know, right now probably won't be the best time to come in for that pits if he is getting that gap smaller and smaller. He probably will want to keep out there for just a little bit longer to try and see if Smoky Devil can make some kind of mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of time here for these guys to slip up and let it go. As you see, Grandad Stee there, half a second down on his personal best, so maybe those tyres starting to go off just a little bit here. We're almost half distance here in this feature race, and Smoky Devil has actually closed a little bit on this lap so far. It's gone from 3 seconds down to 2.6. Keeping an eye on those guys in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. You've got Smithy, looks like he's pulled out quite a big gap here to My Dad Peanut. My Dad Peanut now looks like he's struggling, and he's got it looks like he's been passed there by the Only G up into 5th place, but he's 8-9 seconds off of Smithy and Morgan. So the championship leader Motoring Morgan sat in 4th place. His championship rival the Only G came into this feature race 22 points behind him, won the sprint race before this one, but the Only G struggling here, and he's got a lot of work to do. 8 seconds behind his championship rival Morgan, who is the leader in the standings at the moment, and it looks like Morgan is set to extend that advantage in this feature race as it stands, but 8 seconds isn't a insurmountable gap to claw back, and G, I'm sure, will be tearing up the road to try and get ahead of his championship rivals. We see in the background we've got a battle here between Falgast and Swiss Tony, 7 and 8. Here we go. Looks like Falgast up the inside here and has got the move on Swiss Tony. Nice move. Swiss Tony gave him the room and gave him space, and Ayatel going side by side here with Yomko in the background as well. Ayatel there challenging Yomko coming into the final corner. Is Ayatel going to make the move? He does. Peanut up the inside. Is he going to hold it? He does indeed. Fantastic move there from Peanut. We've got, it looked like Hovno thought about bringing it into the pits there and then made a last minute decision to stay out. Don't know if he had radioed the team to say he was coming in. Maybe he hadn't, and that's the reason why. But coming into turn 1, Ayatel has got the move here on Yomko, and Yomko slots in behind. Knows he can't go for a move up the inside there. That would be far too ambitious and probably end in tears. But Ayatel getting a little bit sideways there coming through the roundabout, and Yomko almost thought about it there, but in the end thought better of it. These guys a couple of seconds down the road from Swiss Tony, who was passed by Falgast on the previous lap. Falgast making progress here in 7th place. Next up for him will be My Dad Peanut. Last time around, Falgast was 2.7 seconds quicker than My Dad Peanut as well. So My Dad Peanut starting to go off a little bit. His tyres maybe not in the right frame.
Well, it definitely looks like, well, just looking at the timings right now for each lap, and it looks like we've got a very close freeway split. for the fastest lap. We've got the only G coming in with a 130, 103, Motor Morgan with a 136.15, and Smithy coming in with a 130.190. So it's very, very close for the fastest lap.
Yeah, this is pretty tight actually.
The only G comes over with a blister 129.6.
Oh, that is incredibly quick race pace here from the only G. We saw in qualifying, he managed a 129.0 in the sprint race session. But that is absolutely fantastic here, considering that he's got a half a tank of fuel in that car, plus worn slick tyres. He is really, really getting this car nailed down. He's got 6 seconds to make up. He's gained 2 seconds in the last 3 laps to his championship rival Motor Morgan, who is sat in 4th place at the moment. Keep an eye on these guys as it stands.
Well, it looks like these two are actually having a battle right now. Well, it's definitely heating up between Morgan and Smithy right now, as they're both fighting for 3rd place.
Yeah, geez, catching up to these guys while they battle it out as well. Morgan's still unable to find a way around Smithy for the time being. It's been the story of the evening. Smithy said in the pre-race build-up he was going to be doing everything he can to assist G in the championship push here in the Clio Cup, and at the moment he's doing it very well, holding up Morgan, not giving him anywhere to go. Morgan at the moment is going to be very frustrated behind Smithy at the moment.
Just remember, guys, if you do feel like you have the pace and the speed to be able to keep up with these guys, then please do not hesitate to ask for a link to our Discord down below and see if you can try and compete with these guys on the track. And on many different championships, we have the GT3s, we have GT5s, we have the Clios, GTEs, many different championships and more coming in the future. So please do ask down below if you feel like you have the pace to join us. Looks like Grandad C's came in for his pit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to keep that place.
Yeah, I think he's just coming out in. He's probably going to merge in around 5th or 6th, probably near to My Dad Peanut or Falguest here.
Oh, he might just come out ahead of Falguest and My Dad Peanut.
It's going to be close.
But he's definitely not. He's not going to have enough speed to get out of that corner.
No, I don't think he is. Motor Morgan doing his fastest first sector of the race so far. Still unable to find a way around Smithy though. These boys will be 1 and 2 once Smoky Devil comes in. Stee emerges just behind My Dad Peanut. Smithy looking like he's in the box seat though for the victory here in this feature race. Still Motor Morgan unable to find a way past. Looks like Falguest is right behind Grandad Stee though in the battle here for 6th place. And both of these boys look like they're closing in on now on My Dad Peanut, who had a great start to this race but unfortunately has gone off the boil a bit in the last couple of laps since he made his pit stop. ALTEL running 5 seconds down the road from these guys in P8. But we have got 8 laps left to go. Sorry.
It's definitely been an interesting race for a lot of people. Smoky Devil, a professional race leader right now, he's yet to come into the pits. Smithy only 18 seconds behind, so even if Smoky pits right now, he's not going to have the time to be able to get in there, do his tyre change, and come back out on top.
No, I reckon Smoky Devil will probably emerge somewhere around. I think probably Peanut, to be honest, or maybe Stee and Foul. Actually, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. I mean, he's lapping slower than them. He's lapping a couple of seconds a lap slower than them. So maybe those tyres are starting to wear off, and he would be better off bringing it in. But I just don't know at this point. It's so difficult to start
It looks like we have lost Swiss Tony.
It's very unfortunate there. Was he running in last at the time?
No, he was running, I think he was at 11th.
11th, yeah. It's a shame there to Swiss Tony. Obviously, we've got to keep an eye also, guys, on H2 Malik. A minute and 3 seconds behind now. Obviously, the game on Project Cars usually underestimates the gap by about 10 seconds. So with that being considered, I reckon H2 Malik is probably about 10-15 seconds away from actually being lapped at the moment. So I just I would like to shout a warning to Smoky Devil at this point, but I don't know.
Well, if you want, I can jump in and give them a warning.
No, I'm only kidding, but it's just something maybe Smoky Devil should be aware of anyway. He's on lap 14 at the moment. He's got a 17-second lead to Smithy. Still yet to come in for his pit stop. No, I'm sure Malik will be absolutely fine. Looks like Yomko's got past Hobno in the battle for P9.
Oh, so he has.
Yeah, it looks like
The car's looking a bit worse for wear.
Tell me about it. But I think that might have been a let through there from Hovno, allowing Yomko to get past him and release him into some clear air there.
Well, he's definitely slowing down, which is definitely not a good thing. He might have a wee bit of damage to his car, affecting the engine.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not terminal damage and he can continue and get to the end here with 6 laps remaining in this race. But solid job from these boys getting to this point in the race. Obviously Yomko was fighting for the lead earlier in the race with My Dad Peanut. The first few laps those boys were really going at it, but unfortunately for Yomko it all went wrong. And he is struggling down in 9th place. As we see Stee here trying to get Falguest. Falguest is now all over the back here of My Dad Peanut. Falguest has made the move on Stee. We didn't get hatched out on the stream. And now next up for him is My Dad Peanut. Out onto the straight. My Dad Peanut, otherwise known as Rob, currently leading this trade of 3 cars. 5th, 6th and 7th over the line. It's going to be a great battle between these guys. We all know these guys know each other very, very well. They race with each other regularly on online lobbies here on Project Cars 2. And as they come into turn 1, it's My Dad Peanut taking a very wide entry. Falguest and Stee trying to stay in the slipstream here. It looks like Falguest has got a little bit of a compromise run coming through there and hits the wall on the inside. Grandad Stee is going to try and capitalise. Is he going to go for the exit here? Falguest covering off the line and holding onto the position gamely. Good stuff there from Falguest, not willing to give it up just at the moment. Great to see some grit here from our man from Cornwall here, running in 6th place at the moment.
Actually, those like Smoky Devil has increased that lap time by not his lap time, but that gap to 15 seconds now.
Yeah, so he's doing a good job. It's Smoky Devil. He's gone a bit understated in this race. Obviously, he's been leading the race with the pit stop phases still to come in. But I reckon he could be on for maybe a 4th place finish here. If he can keep up this sort of pace at the front, he could jump Falguest, Ryder Peanut, I'm going to see, especially when they're battling as well. It's definitely on the cards for him to get some times in while these guys are busy tripping over each other. But we're currently riding with Smithy here as he comes into turn 1, and he's put a second between himself and Morgan now. Or no, having said that, he hasn't now. And these boys
I feel like as long as they can get by those back markers and they don't slow them down too much, then they should definitely be in for a chance to be able to take pole position in this race.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. As we see, just one man to keep an eye out for. Only G is lapping a second lap faster than both of these boys, and he is now only 2.2 seconds behind. So this could very, very easily become a three-way battle for the lead. If the only G keeps up this sort of pace over the next couple of laps, we will have a three-way battle for the victory here at Long Beach for round 4 of Motor Racing's Clio Cup, the feature race. What a race it has been, and it looks like it's going to end dramatically as well. My Dad Peanut, in the meantime, looks like he's been passed there by Falguest. He's gone up the inside and he's got the move. Grandad Stee is now all over the back of Rob as well. Rob's going to have to go defensive here. He's got some slipstream from Falguest, which is going to help him a little bit in defending from Stee. Stee has to look to the outside, can't find a way around him. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, but again, he can't put alongside him. And Airtel in the background is closing on these guys while they focus on each other. But Mida Peanut going very late on the brakes there, coming through the last turn. And Mida Peanut's up, Grandad Stee's up the inside of him, but they're still side by side there. Mida Peanut got a faster exit, but Grandad Stee has got the slipstream from Falguest, which is going to benefit him enormously as they come down the straight. In the background,
actually looks like Smoky Devil actually had an accident there. The gap is now down to 6 seconds.
Oh my goodness, Smoky Devil still yet to come into the pits. As yeah, oh my god, I didn't see what happened there.
It looked like it was an incident with one of the back markers.
Well, I hope to God that is not H2 Malik.
It looked like to be John Boy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he was the closest one to him. Malik's nowhere near him.
Well, Smoky Devil obviously still yet to come in for his mandatory pit stop. It hasn't affected the lead of the race, but if that is John Boy impeding our race leader there, that is very disappointing there for John Boy. Hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully that wasn't the case. But Smoky Devil is coming up on him now, and is he kind of coming for his mandatory pit stop? Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is.
So it looks like he's bringing it in, and we've got Smithy now released into the race lead, and the only G looks like he's almost caught up with these boys now in the battle for the lead. 1.8 seconds covers the top three. The only G just outside of the slipstream range of Motoring Morgan, but he is tantalisingly close now. For context, ladies and gentlemen, Smithy leading the race. You've got the two championship contenders, Morgan and the only G, running in second and third. Morgan coming into this feature race had a 22-point gap in the championship. G really needs to finish in front of him if he wants to continue his charge in catching him up in the standings. Well, it's actually Smithy. Smithy actually is in the fight for the championship as well. I think actually the gap was, it's around 25 points coming into this feature race, and Smithy and the NEG I think are almost tied on points. I think maybe Smithy might actually have 3 more points, so this is literally the championship contenders, all 3 of them fighting over the same piece of tarmac, ladies and gentlemen. 2.5 laps to go left in this one. It looks like Smithy has pulled out a gap here on this in this last lap or so to Morgan as he comes up on some traffic here. Looks like Hovno gets well out of the way and does not interfere with the leaders. Or is he? Whoa! Yep. I don't know. Looks like he's still there, still staying in there, but he gets out of the way there. He does move over. Hovno gets out of the way for Smithy. He's still got Morgan and G coming up behind him, though. He does need to be aware. But Smithy in the box seat at the moment. Came into this round in second place in the championship.
Let's see if Smithy can try and get that gap higher while the rest of them are stuck behind that back marker.
Yeah, as we see Hovno there.
Never mind.
Pulls over. But it looks like Morgan and G have been well and truly held up here by the back marker, and that has released Smithy into some clear air. He's now got a 1.5 second lead. Smithy should pretty much have this one signed and sealed now. A lap and a half left to go in this one, but is Motoring Morgan going to hold on from the only G in the battle for P2? The only G has been hunting these boys down. Had a 7-second gap to make up earlier on in the race, and has he really put his foot down in the second half of this one. As we see Morgan going defensive now, the only G really hassling him in the background, a couple of seconds back from Smithy. Oh, yeah, we go. We got it. And the only G is really hassling him now. Bumper to bumper out the last turn. Airtel. Is that Airtel? Can't be, surely. No, John Boy gets well out of the way there as we come over the line to start the final lap here at Long Beach.
No, that's Hovno.
Yeah, you're right. That's Hovno in the background. They just cleared. And this is John Boy up ahead. Obviously, I forgot about the pit stops. They would have been... Because, yeah, that makes sense. So at the moment it's Smithy leading the race. He's got a 2-second lead here. He's just coming up on some more traffic. That looks like it's John Boy there. But what a performance here from Smithy. Well,
it looks like Peanut and his son have actually both went into the pits right now.
Yeah, ASL and my dad Peanut both coming in 6th and 7th places. Maybe didn't put enough fuel in that car. Oh, as we see a back marker there.
That was Malik.
Over the place. Malik gets out of the way. He's learnt his lesson from last week. Malik. No, hold on.
Oh no! He's just done it again!
What's happened there?
Malik's done it again!
Malik goes into Morgan?
Only G. No, that's only G. The only G's the only one in the Monster Energy livery.
What's happened here? The only G gets rammed off by H2 Malik, the back marker. I'm sure, was that? It was?
Yeah, it was. No.
What on earth is happening? Smithy takes the win here at Long Beach in the feature race. Morgan seconds. The only G completes the podium. I'm going to have a look at the replay of that one.
Yeah, that is...
What is happening?
That is really confusing.
What's happening there?
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the replay, and yeah, Malik just takes him out, drives him into the tyre barrier on the left-hand side, intentionally.
That is... Oh, God. That's extremely poor driving.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I don't even have any words for that, I really don't. Well, not any words that I can say on stream anyway.
That's shocking. We're going to grab these guys in the commentary booth and get their take on that. That was unbelievable.
I think we have to invest in a quick beeper. The only G is in here because he's definitely not going to be happy with that.
That is very disappointing there from H2 Malik.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey Smithy, how you doing?
Oh, bad mate.
Well, fantastic win there. You did well to keep the lead. Also in front of Motor Morgan and the only G. But well, the only G unfortunately did get taken out again by H2 Malik.
Same person.
So, yep.
We
watched it back.
G, I'm sorry, we've got to address this now. The only G. It's happened twice in a row now. Malik has taken you out. A back marker, blue flags waving, and he's come from absolutely nowhere and put you in the wall intentionally, it seems. At Motive Racing, we here, the Stewart team, we're going to do something about this. Trust me, mark my words on this. We're saying this live on the stream now. We're not standing for any of this. Something's going to happen today. Something very drastic is going to happen. Some drastic action is going to be taken.
I don't think I would have got past Morgan anyways. Morgan was doing a good job at defending.
Oh, yeah, but it's extremely beyond the point of letting somebody by when you're a back marker and deliberately driving them into a tyre wall.
It's just not in the spirit of the game at all, and obviously I'm sorry that happened. Smithy, I don't want to take the limelight away from you. Obviously, Ian, I'll let you carry on talking to Smithy here. But I just had to make that point here on the stream that this is not something we condone here at all. That's absolutely shocking. Can't believe what I've just seen. I'm sorry.
Well, Smithy, fantastic win. You did well to keep that gap between yourself and Motor Morgan. what was your? Did you expect to manage to get first in this race, or did you just keep your foot to the ground and just go around?
When I saw I was in front of him all on the start, I was like, oh, this is something in my favour. And then the first couple of corners was tight but clean, so I don't think anyone else got interrupted. So it was a good first few laps, or good first lap. And I was pretty straight away because I didn't really get messed up on anyone else's business, so I could clean race because I knew they were about to have the net lead of the race. And then Morgan was behind me, and then I kept pulling away, kept closing in, pulling away, kept making mistakes, stupid mistakes, hitting the wall every other lap. And then I saw G catching up. I'm like, no, he's coming in too quick. And then obviously I got another gap towards the end of the race, and I set the fastest lap of the race on the second to last lap, and it gave me a gap. But then Malik span on the last corner, not last corner, the last lap, and then I had to brake on a bit, and then he came on and obviously caused someone else's bit issue. But it was a good race. Morgan made me work for it, so good luck, well done to him, but I didn't make him that much of a mistake. Nearly did. Nearly.
Close but not quite. Well done, Smith. Good win, mate. I pushed you, but well done.
And I bloody won. Boom, bitches.
Yeah, well done, Smithy.
Well,
Cheers,
Motor
mate.
Morgan, you managed to catch second. You managed to keep off the only G as much as you can, as fast as a driver as he is, setting up the fastest lap of a 1:28.7 of the race. What was your strategy trying to keep him off? Try to keep him behind you?
I knew in the last 3-4 laps, G would catch me. He's just got so much pace over me around here. I just knew how to keep it clean, keep Smithy honest, and not make mistakes. And when he catches up by me, just defend like hell. And that's what I did.
Well, it was spectacular driving. Really well, good defending from the only G, against the only G, and you came out second. So congratulations for that.
Thank you very much, boys. Thank you. Tough race, but yeah, very good. Very happy now.
And obviously the only G catching third, unfortunately, with that extremely unfortunate takeout. Also, we do not condone that here at Motor Racing. The only G, you managed to cop third. How did you manage? How do you feel after that?
I'm sure I could have done better, but it's racing. It happens. Smithy and Morgan did an amazing job of coming ahead of me. Yeah, it's a pretty good race overall.
Seem a bit upset, mate. Come third.
Yeah. Well, you did call it, didn't you, Smithy? You gotta get him back.
Yeah, I did say I was going to win today.
You just didn't say in what fashion.
I think pitting early for me wasn't a good idea. Saw everyone else going in front. I should have probably kept it out there, and would have a better chance.
I was thinking that maybe going in a bit early isn't always the best option. Maybe just staying out in the track, try bring up your numbers a wee bit is probably the best bet sometimes.
Yeah, so it's tough trying to catch up to them. They put on a good show.
Yeah, fantastic racing from everybody here tonight, apart from obviously the above mentioned person. There definitely will be words with him, but other than that, fantastic racing from all of the drivers here tonight at Long Beach in the USA, and congratulations once again to all three of you.
Thanks.